Ever pondered why one day is sunny and the next is pouring rain, or why some regions are always hot while others are perpetually cold? Well, that's the fascinating world of weather and climate for you. Weather is like your mood, changing often and dependent on various factors like temperature, humidity, and pressure. Climate, on the other hand, is more like your personality, a long-term pattern of weather conditions in a region. So, when you comment, "It's very chilly today," you're discussing weather, but when you talk about how summers in your city are usually hot, you're referring to climate. Now you might wonder, what causes these variations in weather and climate? Well, let's delve into some key factors that influence these conditions. First off, we have atmospheric pressure. This is the force exerted by the weight of the air above us. Changes in atmospheric pressure can lead to different weather patterns. For instance, high pressure often brings clear skies and calm weather, while low pressure can lead to storms and rain. Next, we have temperature. This is a measure of how hot or cold the air is. It's influenced by factors like the amount of sunlight received, the time of year, and the geographical location. Speaking of sunlight, it plays a crucial role as well. The angle and intensity of sunlight hitting the Earth's surface affects the temperature, which in turn influences the weather. More sunlight means warmer temperatures and often clearer skies. Then we have clouds, rainfall, and humidity. Clouds form when water vapor in the air condenses. The presence and type of clouds can affect the amount of sunlight that reaches the Earth's surface, influencing temperature and therefore weather. Rainfall and humidity also play their parts, with high humidity often leading to precipitation and changes in weather patterns. Lastly, visibility is a factor which is affected by the amount and type of particles present in the air. So, everything from the warmth of the sun to the amount of moisture in the air can have a significant impact on our daily weather and our long-term climate. Let's quickly wrap up what we've learned so far. Weather is a snapshot of atmospheric conditions at a specific time and place. It's what prompts us to say, "It's too cold today," or "It's really hot out." Factors like temperature, sunlight, clouds, rainfall, humidity, and visibility all play into the weather we experience. Now, climate isn't about the here and now. It's a long-term view, the average of daily weather readings taken over several years. It's the prevailing atmospheric conditions of a region. So while weather might change from day to day, climate is what you can expect in a given area over time. The difference between weather and climate is like the difference between a single note and a whole symphony. The note is brief, the symphony is enduring. Both are important to understanding the big picture of our atmospheric world. Remember, understanding weather and climate isn't just about knowing if you'll need an umbrella today, it's about understanding our world and how we fit into it.
Have you ever wondered how much the weather and climate affect our daily lives? From the clothes we wear to the food we eat and even the jobs we choose, weather and climate play a significant role. But what's the difference? Well, weather describes the atmospheric conditions at a specific time and place, while climate refers to the average weather patterns in a region over a longer period. So, weather is what you get, and climate is what you expect. Let's unfold the importance of weather and climate in our living world. Understanding the difference between weather and climate is crucial. You see, weather is what you experience when you step outside. It's the warmth of the sun on a summer day, or the chill of a winter breeze. It's the rain that taps on your window, or the snow that blankets your yard. Weather is all about short-term changes, happening here and now, varying from location to location, hour to hour, day to day. On the other hand, climate isn't about today or tomorrow. Climate is the long-term pattern of weather in a specific area. It's what you expect, whether it's warm summers and cold winters, or monsoon rains and dry seasons. Climate influences various aspects of life: what we eat, how we dress, the homes we live in, even our occupations. So you see, climate and weather are not just about the sky, they impact our lives in profound ways. Now let's delve into how weather plays a vital role in our living world. Weather and climate are not just about deciding whether to carry an umbrella or wear a jacket. They are fundamental elements that shape the world we live in. Firstly, daily weather conditions and long-term climatic patterns directly or indirectly influence our lifestyle. The natural environment on Earth, composed of land, water bodies, plants, and animals, is a cradle for our existence and development. Secondly, the climate of a specific region significantly influences the diet, clothing, housing, occupations, and lifestyle of the people living there. For instance, the cool, temperate climate of Kashmir inspires a lifestyle vastly different from the arid, hot climate of Rajasthan. Thirdly, weather and climate are closely linked to marine and atmospheric phenomena. They determine the salinity of marine water, the formation of oceanic currents, and even the water cycle. Fourthly, climatic factors are responsible for the weathering of rocks in the Earth's crust. Over time, these weathered rocks contribute to the formation of soil, a vital resource for plant life. Fifthly, climate plays a significant role in the formation and enrichment of soil. The type of soil found in a region, whether it is sandy, clayey, or loamy, is largely dependent on the prevailing climate. Lastly, it's worth noting that microbes in the soil, which play a vital role in the formation of organic materials, are influenced by various climatic factors. These tiny organisms help create nutrient-rich soil that supports plant growth and, in turn, all life on Earth. So the next time you check the weather forecast, remember that it's not just about knowing if it's going to rain or shine. It's about understanding a complex system that influences every facet of our lives and the natural world around us. Clearly, weather and climate are integral to life on Earth, affecting everything from our lifestyle choices to the natural environment. Now that we understand how weather impacts our world, let's explore the role of climate in our lives. Climate is the big picture, the long-term patterns of weather that shape not just our days, but our entire lives and societies. While weather can change in minutes or hours, climate changes are measured in decades, centuries, or even geological epochs. Climate shapes our basic needs: what we eat, how we dress, and where we live. In colder climates, people typically eat more fatty foods to stay warm and wear thick clothing. In warmer climates, diets are often lighter, and clothing is more breathable. Our homes too are built to withstand the climate of our region, from insulated igloos in the Arctic to stilt houses in flood-prone areas. But the influence of climate extends beyond our personal lives and into the realm of our occupations and infrastructure. In an agrarian country like India, the climate dictates the type of crops that can be grown, the times of planting and harvesting, and the need for irrigation or other water management strategies. It is the subtle conductor orchestrating the symphony of rural life and livelihoods. The same is true for urban areas. The direction and speed of the wind, temperature, and atmospheric pressure are all considered during the construction of runways, seaports, bridges, and skyscrapers. These climatic factors influence everything from the materials used to the orientation of the buildings. Climate also plays a crucial role in the health of our planet. It influences the salinity of marine water, the formation of oceanic currents, and the water cycle. It is responsible for the weathering of rocks in the Earth's crust and the enrichment of soil. Even the tiny microbes in the soil, which play an important role in the formation of organic materials, are influenced by climatic factors. As you can see, climate shapes our lives and our world in more ways than we often realize. It is not just the backdrop of our existence, but a key character in the story of human life on Earth. So, we've learned quite a lot about the importance of weather and climate today. It's been a fascinating journey, hasn't it? We've dived deep into the definitions of weather and climate, understanding that while weather pertains to short-term conditions in a specific location, climate is about the long-term patterns that define a larger area. We've also explored the significant role weather plays in the living world. It influences our lifestyle, the natural environment, and even the formation of organic materials. Whether it's the salinity of marine water or the weathering of rocks in the Earth's crust, weather and climatic factors leave their mark. Then, we turned our attention to the crucial role of climate in our lives. It's not just about deciding whether we need a sweater or a pair of shorts. Climate affects our basic needs like food, clothing, and shelter. It even influences our occupations and has a profound impact on infrastructural developments like the construction of runways, seaports, and skyscrapers. In essence, the study of meteorology is not just a scientific pursuit, but a journey into understanding the complex systems that shape our existence. So let's keep the curiosity alive and continue exploring this fascinating world of weather and climate. Next time you step outside, remember, the weather and climate are not just about whether you need an umbrella or a sun hat. They're part of a complex system that shapes our world and our lives in countless ways.
Have you ever wondered how your weather app can predict whether you'll need an umbrella tomorrow or not? This prediction, quite crucial to our daily lives, is made possible by the fascinating science of meteorology. Meteorology is the study of the interactions between various components of the atmosphere, the natural cycles that govern them, and the geological movements of our planet. This broad field encompasses a myriad of elements that shape our weather, including storms, clouds, rainfall, thunder, and lightning, to name just a few. Each of these factors plays a unique role in the grand orchestra of our climate. For instance, storms, with their powerful winds and heavy rainfall, can dramatically alter the weather patterns over large areas. Clouds, on the other hand, can influence temperature and humidity, affecting everything from our comfort levels to the growth of crops. Meteorologists, the scientists who specialize in this field, meticulously study these elements. They use sophisticated tools and technologies to collect data, which they then analyze to understand the current state of our weather and predict its future course. These weather forecasts, derived from meteorological studies, are not just for determining if we need to carry an umbrella or wear a coat the next day. They play a vital role in various sectors of our society. Farmers rely on them to plan their sowing and harvesting activities. Now, who are the masterminds behind these weather predictions? Let's start with the World Meteorological Organization, or WMO for short. This global entity was established by the United Nations back on the 23rd of March in 1950. The WMO's mission is to promote international cooperation in monitoring and predicting the Earth's weather and climate. It's not just about telling you whether you'll need an umbrella tomorrow. The WMO plays an integral role in sectors like food security, water management, transportation, and communication. They work tirelessly to ensure that all countries have access to the meteorological information necessary to protect life and property on our big blue planet. Next, we have the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, often referred to as the IITM. This institution is a leading force in weather and climate research in the tropics. The IITM dedicates its efforts in studying monsoons, climate variability, air pollution, and more. These studies are crucial for understanding the weather patterns in tropical regions, which helps in better planning and management of resources. Then we have the US-based National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, which you might know better as NOAA. NOAA is the go-to organization for weather forecasts, severe storm warnings, and climate monitoring in the United States. They are also responsible for fisheries management, protecting marine life, and understanding our oceans and the atmosphere. NOAA's work helps to keep communities safe, economies thriving, and ecosystems healthy. But these are just the big players. There are countless other organizations and institutions around the world that contribute to our understanding of the weather and climate. They all work together, sharing data and insights to create the most accurate weather forecasts possible. These organizations serve as the backbone of global meteorology, ensuring accurate weather forecasts for all. Let's take a closer look at one of these organizations, the India Meteorological Department. It's a legacy that harks back to the British era, having been established in the year 1875 in the picturesque hill station of Shimla. Today, its headquarters stand tall in the nation's capital, New Delhi, with its regional offices playing pivotal roles across the cities of Guwahati, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and Nagpur. Every day, this department is abuzz with activity, working tirelessly to decode the language of the skies. Twice in every 24-hour cycle, they produce maps indicating the daily weather predictions, a crucial tool for those in aviation, agriculture, shipping, and many more sectors. But the work of the India Meteorological Department extends beyond these daily forecasts. It's a hub of continuous research, with minds keenly focused on various meteorological aspects. They delve deep into the intricacies of climatic readings, using state-of-the-art instruments and radar technology. They explore the seismic connections to our climate, and they use satellite technology to make rainfall predictions. Air pollution, a major concern in our modern world, also falls within their purview, as do predictions related to weather anomalies such as dust and sandstorms, heavy rainfall, heat and cold waves, and tsunamis. The information they gather is invaluable, not just for the departments mentioned earlier, but also for marine oil exploration and production and irrigation. To aid in their monumental task, India has launched several satellites equipped with high-tech gear. These celestial observers provide a steady stream of information, which is then meticulously analyzed at observatories located throughout the country. The India Meteorological Department, a legacy of British rule, continues its essential work in meteorology, serving the diverse needs of a vast country. Through its dedicated efforts, it helps to keep the citizens informed and prepared, playing a vital role in our nation's daily life and long-term planning. So why should we care about meteorology, and what's in store for its future, you may ask? Well, let's delve into that. Meteorology is not just about predicting whether you'll need an umbrella tomorrow. It impacts various sectors that are critical to our society. Take the India Meteorological Department, for instance. This organization isn't just clocking the weather patterns, it's providing invaluable information to several departments like aviation, shipping, agriculture, and more. Think about it. Pilots need accurate weather forecasts to ensure safe flights. Farmers rely on these predictions to plan their crop cycles. Even marine oil exploration and production companies count on meteorology to operate safely and efficiently. But the department's work doesn't stop there. It plays a pivotal role in predicting calamities, such as dust storms, heavy rainfall, and tsunamis. This information is then promptly communicated to various departments, mass communication media, and citizens, enabling us to brace for impact, safeguarding lives and property. How do they do it, you ask? That's where satellites and observatories come into play. India has launched several satellites equipped with high-tech gear, and observatories across the country are working tirelessly to analyze the information they receive. It's a complex process, but one that's crucial to our safety and well-being. So what's the future of meteorology? One word: technology. As we continue to advance technologically, our ability to predict and understand weather patterns will only get better. We're talking about more accurate forecasts, better disaster prediction, and even the potential to mitigate the effects of some weather conditions. Meteorology is, and will continue to be, a field that intertwines with technology, growing and evolving with it. From predicting tomorrow's weather to foreseeing natural disasters, meteorology plays a crucial role in our lives, proving that no matter where we are, the sky above us matters. So the next time you check the weather forecast, remember, it's not just about whether you'll need a jacket. It's about the intricate science that helps us navigate our world safely and efficiently.
Have you ever wondered how meteorologists predict the weather patterns, storms, and monsoons that shape our lives? Weather forecasting has evolved significantly over time with an intriguing blend of science, intuition, and sophisticated tool usage. Initially, we relied on simple observations of the sky and natural phenomena. As time progressed, we developed more intricate methods, such as mathematical and statistical models, which use current weather events and historical data, respectively, to make detailed predictions about atmospheric behavior. We'll also touch on the journey of H.F. Blandford, who, after a famine, initiated the meteorological revolution in India by predicting the monsoon season based on Himalayan snowfall. This led to the development of a monsoon prediction model which uses 16 climatic parameters globally. Today, weather forecasts combine various models to provide the most accurate predictions possible. Currently, this holistic approach has been adopted by the Indian Meteorological Department in their efforts to predict weather patterns. From ancient traditions to cutting-edge technology, the quest to predict the weather has been a fascinating journey. Let's embark on this voyage through time. Our journey begins over a century ago with the birth of the monsoon model in India. Weather prediction was once an art, rooted in intuition and observation. Amidst this, H.F. Blandford, founder of the Indian Meteorological Department, turned to science for monsoon predictions after the 1877 famine. His method involved tracking Himalayan snowfall, an innovative approach for the period. The 1930s introduced Sir Gilbert Walker, then director of the department, who made noteworthy addition. He highlighted the connection between global climatic factors and the Indian monsoon. His observations led to a hypothesis on the monsoon's nature, the model's evolution, and in the 1990s, Dr. Vasantrao Govarikar presented a more advanced monsoon model. This model, based on 16 global climatic parameters, signified a shift from a localized to a global perspective in monsoon predictions. It took into consideration factors like oceanic temperatures and atmospheric pressures. This model was used from 1990 to 2002, becoming a reliable framework for predicting monsoons. These pioneers' ingenuity and commitment laid the groundwork for the development of more sophisticated weather forecasting. They acknowledged weather as a global occurrence influenced by numerous interlinked factors across the globe. This model served as a foundation for future weather forecasting, paving the way for more complex and accurate methods. The monsoon model's inception marked a remarkable milestone in weather forecasting's progress, introducing a scientific and inventive era that influences modern predictions. As technology advanced, so did the methods of weather prediction. This gave birth to mathematical models, a new era in forecasting. These models, powered by mathematics and supercomputers, allowed for more accurate predictions. Dynamic mathematical model, central to this era, relied on current weather events. These, including temperature changes and wind patterns, formed a complex data tapestry, analyzable for forecasting. Here, the Param supercomputer came into play. This device just processed data, it devoured it. It absorbed massive quantities of climatic data and mathematically analyzed them. This wasn't simple arithmetic. The Param employed intricate algorithms and mathematical models to comprehend the goal: to develop models accounting for daily geographic changes. The models, powered by supercomputer technology, improved meteorologists' predictive accuracy. These models were dynamic, evolving with new data. This adaptability enabled meteorologists to modify predictions per evolving situations. In a world of erratic weather patterns, such adaptability is crucial. But it wasn't solely about short-term forecasting. These models also shed light on long-term climatic shifts, offering insights into issues like climate change. Thus, these mathematical models were more than forecasting tools. They were aids in our planet and its climatic intricacies. With the power of mathematics and supercomputers, meteorologists made more precise predictions than ever before. The era of mathematical models had truly arrived, revolutionizing weather forecasting and expanding possibilities for understanding and predicting our planet's weather. While mathematical models were revolutionizing weather forecasting, another method was emerging from the shadows: the statistical model. Picture this model as a time machine, catapulting us back through the annals of time to scrutinize past weather data. Essentially, it's a game of comparison and analysis where our current climatic observations are juxtaposed head-to-head with historical parameters. Envisage oceanic temperatures, atmospheric pressures, and the intricate nature of past monsoon rainfalls, all being summoned into the frame. It's a world where numbers come to life, and the past plays a crucial role in painting the picture of the future. The statistical model is not a mere observer of these parameters. It becomes an analytical powerhouse, mathematically comparing and contrasting every single detail. See it as a seasoned detective, diligently sifting through masses of evidence, methodically piecing together the puzzle of what the future weather might hold. The detective isn't just fixated on the numbers, it's about the lore those numbers spin, the patterns they unveil. Each number, each data point is a piece of an elaborate puzzle, a node in a contributing to a grander picture. These pieces blend harmoniously in a symphony of data analysis, leading to informed conjectures about the upcoming monsoon under the prevailing conditions. But make no mistake, it's not just about predicting a rainy day or a sunny afternoon. It's about understanding the complex interplay of various climatic factors and their cumulative impact on our ecosystem. It enables us to anticipate extreme weather conditions and be better prepared, potentially saving lives and resources. The statistical model does not merely provide data, but offers insight, enabling us to understand the rhythm of nature's dance and predict its next move with remarkable accuracy. It is a testament to human ingenuity, a step forward in battle against the unpredictability of weather, a new tool to wield in our quest for knowledge. The statistical model provided a new lens through which to view and predict weather patterns. In the modern era, meteorologists have combined the best of all these methods to create a holistic model. In a breakthrough towards more accurate forecasting, this approach doesn't limit itself to one methodology. It deftly integrates the most important features of various strategies, taking the most beneficial factors from each approach. Picture a cauldron of data, each model contributing its unique ingredients, the most crucial parameters. These feed into a savory stew of information which is then meticulously examined to yield the most precise forecast. The holistic model is unique in its dependence on collective results. It doesn't rely on a solitary source of information, instead it fuses various models' findings. This synthesis ensures a robust and reliable prediction. It's like a symphony of data where each instrument, each model plays a part in crafting a harmonious piece of information. The holistic model is a development that stands as a testament to human tenacity and curiosity. It is proof of our never-ending pursuit to understand and predict the world around us. It's remarkable how this model marries centuries-old wisdom with modern scientific advancements. It's the blend of past learnings and current knowledge, coalescing to give us the best possible insight into weather patterns. This model is not just about science, but also about collaboration. It highlights the importance of collective efforts in solving complex problems. The holistic model symbolizes the culmination of centuries of progress in weather forecasting. It's the epitome of scientific collaboration and is a testament to how far we've come in predicting Mother Nature's next move. As we look to the future, the field of meteorology continues to evolve, with groundbreaking developments and innovative technologies on the horizon. One notable institution leading this evolution is none other than the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. They are carving a path for the future, pioneering new models that have the potential to completely revolutionize our understanding and prediction of weather patterns. A cornerstone of this pioneering work includes the enhancement and improvement of radar systems and satellite technology. These tools, often overlooked, play a vital role in providing the data that is necessary for accurate weather prediction. However, meteorology is not as straightforward as crafting a model and adhering to it blindly. Complex interplay between atmospheric and oceanic parameters, which are essential to any meteorological model, are not static. They are in a state of continuous flux, changing and evolving with the ever-fluctuating dynamics of our planet. This constant variability necessitates continual adjustments and modifications to these models, ensures that they are always up to date, accurately reflecting the unceasingly changing nature of our planet's weather systems. The field of meteorology, therefore, is not static, but dynamic. It is continuously adapting, growing, and evolving. This evolution is propelled by technological advancements, relentless scientific inquiry, and an insatiable curiosity to understand the world around us better. As we continue on this journey, the field of meteorology will keep pushing the boundaries of what we know. Who knows what intriguing discoveries and new knowledge the future holds? As the quest to unravel the mysteries of the weather continues, who knows what fascinating discoveries lie ahead?
Have you ever wondered where all the waste we generate ends up? We're living in a world where waste, specifically solid waste, is a major concern. This is the waste that comes from our daily human activities, from the food we discard to the packaging materials we thoughtlessly throw away. The fact that these waste materials could potentially be a valuable source of energy, if properly disposed of, makes the situation even more ironic. The current state of solid waste management is, to put it mildly, a global problem. Solid waste contributes significantly to both water and soil pollution, damaging our environment in ways we can't always see. But the implications extend beyond just the environmental impact. Solid waste management, or rather the lack of it, has profound effects on economic growth and health. Think about it. The more waste we generate and fail to manage properly, the more it costs us. We're talking about the financial burden of cleaning up polluted sites and the cost of healthcare for those affected by waste-related diseases. And then there's the cost to our Earth, as we see our natural resources depleted and our environment degraded. Health-wise, the picture is no less grim. Waste in our streets, in our rivers, and in our fields contributes to a range of health problems, from respiratory ailments to life-threatening diseases. Consider the main metro cities of our world, like Mumbai, Pune, and Nagpur. Each day, these cities generate thousands of tons of solid waste. In July 2005, Mumbai experienced a serious flood calamity, one of the main reasons behind it being improper solid waste management. Accumulation of solid waste can lead to various calamities, showing us the harsh reality of our actions. All the materials and articles we use in our daily life, from the reusable to the disposable, they all contribute to the waste pile. If not properly disposed of, they adversely affect our environment. Clearly, our current practices are unsustainable and pose a serious threat to nature and human habitats. We need to take a hard look at our waste generation and disposal habits. Because the way we're heading, we're not just polluting our present, we're also compromising our future. Let's put things into perspective. How much waste do we produce every day? Just to give you a snapshot, the bustling metropolis of Mumbai generates around 5,000 tons of solid waste daily. Not too far behind, Pune contributes approximately 1,700 tons, while Nagpur adds about 900 tons to the daily tally. Now, these figures are already quite staggering, but remember, they represent just 3 cities in a world teeming with urban centers. However, this isn't just about numbers. The improper management of this waste can have serious consequences, as witnessed during the Mumbai flood calamity in July 2005. One of the key factors behind this disaster was the accumulation of unmanaged solid waste. These numbers are staggering, aren't they? And that's just a fraction of the global waste production. So, what exactly constitutes this vast amount of waste we generate? Let's kick things off with domestic waste. This category encompasses waste food, paper, plastic, vegetable waste, fruit skins, glass, and sheet metal articles, to name a few. Essentially, it's a collection of the everyday items we use and discard in our homes. Now, let's move on to industrial waste. This type of waste is typically produced by factories and includes chemicals, pigments, sludge, ash, and metals. These materials are often a byproduct of the manufacturing process and are discarded because they're no longer needed. Next up is hazardous waste. This category covers a wide range of harmful materials, including chemicals produced by various industries, radioactive materials, explosives, and infectious materials. Due to their potential to cause harm, these materials require special handling and disposal methods. Farm or garden waste is another category to consider. This includes leaves, flowers, branches of trees, crop residues like straw, animal urine and dung, pesticides, and remains of various chemicals and fertilizers. Then there's electronic waste, often referred to as e-waste. This category includes non-functional TV sets, cell phones, music systems, computers, and their parts. As our reliance on technology grows, so too does the amount of e-waste we produce. Biomedical waste is another important category. This includes bandages, dressings, gloves, needles, saline bottles, medicines, medicine bottles, test tubes, body parts, and blood from clinics, hospitals, blood banks, and laboratories. Like hazardous waste, biomedical waste requires careful handling and disposal to prevent harm. Urban waste is typically generated through household industries and large commercial and industrial establishments. This includes carry bags, glass, metal pieces and rods, threads, rubber, paper, cans from shops, vegetable and meat markets, and construction waste. We also have to consider radioactive waste, which includes radioactive materials like strontium-10, cerium-141, barium-140, and heavy water, generated from atomic energy plants, uranium mines, atomic research centers, nuclear weapons testing sites. Mining waste is another category to think about. This consists of the remains of heavy metals like lead, arsenic, cadmium from mines. Finally, we have biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste is easily degraded by microbes. This includes kitchen waste, ash, soil, dung, parts of the plants. On the other hand, non-biodegradable waste is not easily degraded and requires a long period of time and various techniques. This category includes plastic, metal, and other similar materials. Astonishing, isn't it? The range and variety of waste we produce is just as diverse as our lifestyles. Not all waste is created equal. Some of it can return to nature, while others stick around for a very long time. There's a fundamental divide in the world of waste: biodegradable and non-biodegradable. These two categories are as different as night and day, and understanding them is key to grappling with the challenges of waste management. Biodegradable waste, as the name suggests, is waste that can break down, decompose, and return to nature over time. This is the stuff that microbes in the environment can feast upon, reducing it to simpler substances that blend back into the earth. Think about your kitchen waste, the spoiled food, fruits, vegetables, even the dung and parts of plants. This type of waste is primarily organic and is often referred to as wet solid waste or wet garbage. But here's where it gets interesting. Biodegradable waste isn't just waste, it's a potential resource. If carefully decomposed, we can convert this waste into compost, a rich, nutrient-filled soil conditioner that can give new life to our gardens and farms. And there's more. This waste can also be turned into biofuel, a renewable energy source. In fact, many cities have already started biofuel projects using biodegradable waste. On the flip side of the coin, we have non-biodegradable waste. This is the stuff that doesn't break down easily in nature, if at all. It includes materials like plastic and metal, and it's often called dry solid waste or dry garbage. This type of waste poses a significant challenge because it can stick around for a very, very long time. It doesn't return to the earth as biodegradable waste does. Instead, it accumulates in our environment, in our landfills, and even in our oceans, causing long-term problems. While biodegradable waste has its uses, non-biodegradable waste poses a significant challenge to our waste management efforts. Understanding this divide and finding ways to reduce and properly manage non-biodegradable waste is a crucial step towards a cleaner, healthier planet. So, where does all this leave us? Well, it leaves us standing on the precipice of a waste management crisis. Each day, our cities generate tons of garbage, each piece a potential hazard to our environment, to our health, and to our future. This isn't a distant, far-off problem. It's here and it's now. We need to understand the gravity of the situation. The mountains of waste that we create daily aren't just unsightly, they're dangerous. They pollute our water, soil, and air. They threaten our ecosystems and biodiversity. They contribute to climate change. They even lead to calamities, as we've seen in cities like Mumbai. This is an urgent issue that demands immediate attention and action. We need to change our habits, our ways of living, and our perspectives on waste. We all have a role to play in managing waste better. It's not just an environmental issue, it's a human issue.
Have you ever asked yourself how important solid waste management is in our daily lives? It's a topic that may not cross our minds often, but its significance is profound. Solid waste management shapes our environment, health, and quality of life in ways more than one. From preventing environmental pollution, creating employment opportunities, to reducing strain on our natural resources, the ripple effects are far-reaching. So let's explore this essential topic together. Stay tuned as we delve into the harmful effects of poor solid waste management. First, let's unpack the harmful effects of solid waste. This issue isn't just about unpleasant odors or an unsightly mess. The consequences are far more profound and damaging. Let's start with biodiversity. When solid waste isn't properly managed, it can wreak havoc on local ecosystems. It can destroy habitats, cause species to become endangered or extinct, and disrupt delicate food chains. In essence, solid waste can alter the very fabric of life on Earth. Now consider the bad odor that emanates from solid waste. This isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's an indicator of more serious problems. You see, when waste decomposes, it produces toxic gases. These gases can contribute to air pollution and climate change, and even pose a risk to human health when inhaled. Speaking of health risks, solid waste can also lead to the spread of diseases. This happens when waste attracts insects and rodents, which can carry harmful pathogens. These diseases can then be transmitted to humans, causing illness and sometimes even death. Another significant effect of solid waste is the degradation of natural beauty. Our parks, beaches, and forests are being marred by litter and debris, diminishing their aesthetic value and making them less enjoyable for everyone. Water pollution is another major concern. When waste ends up in our rivers, lakes, and oceans, it can contaminate the water we drink, the seafood we eat, and the aquatic habitats that many species depend on. Soil pollution is another harmful effect of solid waste. When waste degrades, it can release chemicals into the soil, affecting the health of plants and the animals that feed on them. This can also impact agriculture, reducing crop yields and the quality of the food we eat. Finally, let's not forget about air pollution. The burning of solid waste releases harmful pollutants into the atmosphere, contributing to poor air quality and respiratory problems. Clearly, the effects of poor waste management are far-reaching. But why exactly do we need to manage solid waste? Now let's explore why solid waste management is a necessity. Imagine a world where the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the soil we rely on for our food is polluted. Not a pretty picture, right? That's the first reason why solid waste management is crucial. It helps prevent environmental pollution and keeps our surroundings clean. Secondly, solid waste isn't just a waste, it's a resource waiting to be tapped. Through efficient solid waste management, we can produce energy and fertilizer. This not only makes use of our waste, but also creates employment opportunities. Think of it as turning trash into treasure. Thirdly, our natural resources aren't infinite. The more we waste, the more strain we put on these precious resources. By treating and reusing solid waste, we can reduce this strain and ensure a sustainable future. Lastly, but most importantly, solid waste management improves our health and quality of life. A clean environment means fewer diseases, better living conditions, and a healthier planet. It's a win-win for everyone. This isn't just about managing waste, it's about managing our future. But remember, this isn't a one-man job. It requires collective effort. We all have a role to play in maintaining the environmental balance. Now that we understand the importance of solid waste management, how can we implement it effectively? Let's dive into that in our next segment, where we'll discuss scientific and eco-friendly waste management techniques. Stay tuned. Implementing solid waste management requires a scientific and eco-friendly approach. The first step involves the separation and categorization of waste. This process allows us to identify the type of waste and decide the most efficient way of dealing with it. Next, we have composting and vermicomposting, two methods that turn organic waste into nutrient-rich soil, giving a second life to our kitchen scraps. Then there's the establishment of safe landfilling sites. These sites are designed to prevent the contamination of groundwater and the spread of harmful gases into the air. Industrial solid waste management, on the other hand, primarily uses the landfill method, while also exploring innovative solutions such as pyrolysis. This method involves the burning of waste at high temperatures to produce energy like biogas and bioelectricity. Lastly, we have biomedical waste management, which employs incineration to safely dispose of potentially hazardous waste. Each of these methods plays a crucial role in maintaining a clean and sustainable environment. We have the tools and knowledge to manage our waste effectively. Let's bring this knowledge to life. From separating and categorizing waste to composting and beyond, every small step counts. It's not about grand gestures, but about each of us taking responsibility for our environmental footprint. Let's create a future where waste is a resource, not a burden. Let's generate energy, create jobs, and protect our biodiversity. Remember, a cleaner environment begins with you. Start managing your waste effectively today.
Have you ever thought about what happens to the waste you generate every day? It's a question that might seem simple, but the answer is a complex web that weaves together our daily habits, environmental sustainability, and even the future of our planet. This is where the concept of waste management comes into play. Waste management is not just about getting rid of our trash. It's about understanding where our waste goes, how it impacts our environment, and what we can do to reduce that impact. From the coffee cup you toss away after your morning jolt to the packaging of your favorite online order, all these contribute to a global issue of waste generation. But fear not, there's a way we can turn things around. By understanding and implementing the principles of solid waste management, we can help create a more sustainable future. Let's dive into the 7 principles of solid waste management to understand how we can make a difference. The first 3 principles of solid waste management are reuse, refuse, and recycle. Let's start with reuse. Imagine a world where everything is used to its maximum potential, where nothing goes to waste. That's the principle of reuse. It's about finding new ways to use things that would otherwise be discarded. For instance, an old shirt could be transformed into a trendy bag, or a glass jar could become a chic candle holder. It's all about creativity and making the most of what we have. Moving on to refuse. This principle is about saying no to items that harm our environment, particularly those made from non-degradable materials like plastic and thermocol. It's about making conscious choices. So, the next time you go shopping, consider refusing that plastic bag at checkout and bring your own reusable bag instead. Or skip that disposable coffee cup and bring your own travel mug. It's these small decisions that collectively can make a big difference. Next up is recycle. Recycling is the process of converting waste into reusable material. Take paper and glass, for instance. They can be collected, processed, and transformed into new products. But remember, not all waste is recyclable. It's important to know what can and cannot be recycled in your local area to ensure proper waste management. These three principles, reuse, refuse, and recycle, are not just strategies. They are lifestyle choices. They require us to rethink our habits to be more mindful of the waste we generate and the resources we consume. It's about making choices today that will pave the way for a sustainable future. Remember, every item we reuse, every non-degradable item we refuse, and every piece of waste we recycle reduces the amount of waste that ends up in our landfills and our oceans. It's a simple but powerful act that can have a significant impact on our planet. By reusing, refusing, and recycling, we can significantly reduce the amount of waste we generate. The next three principles are rethink, reduce, and research. Imagine a world where every action we take is guided by a conscious understanding of its impact on our environment. This is not a far-fetched utopia, but a reality we can create by rethinking our habits. Every day we make choices about what we consume and how we dispose of it. By rethinking these choices, we can significantly reduce the amount of waste we generate. For instance, we can choose to drink from a reusable water bottle instead of a single-use plastic one. Or we can opt to carry our own cloth bags when shopping instead of accepting plastic or paper bags. Now, let's talk about reduction, which is arguably one of the most important aspects of waste management. The idea is simple. The less waste we produce, the less of it ends up in our landfills and oceans. We can reduce waste by sharing items instead of owning them individually, by reusing items as much as possible before discarding them, and by avoiding the use of disposable items altogether. For example, if we all started using both sides of a piece of paper, we could cut our paper waste in half. Finally, let's delve into the principle of research. We live in a world where innovation and technology are driving forces of change. Research can help us find new ways to reuse and recycle materials that are currently considered waste. From developing biodegradable alternatives to plastic to finding efficient ways to recycle electronic waste, research is crucial in our journey towards a waste-free world. But research isn't just for scientists and innovators. We can all play a part by staying informed about the latest waste management practices and by exploring creative ways to reduce and reuse waste in our own lives. For example, did you know that you can compost your kitchen waste and use it to enrich the soil in your garden? Rethinking our habits, reducing our waste, and researching alternative solutions can bring us a step closer to a cleaner environment. The final principle is regulation and public awareness. This principle reminds us of the importance of adhering to laws and rules that govern waste management. It's not just about understanding these regulations, but also about following them diligently. These laws, often established by environmental agencies and local governments, structure the ways we manage and dispose of our waste, ensuring that it's done in the most efficient and eco-friendly manner. But regulations alone aren't enough. Public awareness plays a vital role too. Spreading the word about the benefits of effective waste management, the dangers of improper disposal, and the simple everyday steps we can take to make a difference is essential. Each one of us can contribute to this movement. By educating ourselves and others, we can foster a community that not only knows about waste management, but actively participates in it. Regulations and public awareness are crucial for successful waste management. Let's take a look at how different countries are managing their waste. America, for instance, is leading the pack when it comes to generating electricity from solid waste. Yes, you heard that right. They're turning trash into power, proving that waste doesn't always have to be, well, a waste. Meanwhile, in the land of the rising sun, Japan, they've developed ingenious ways to give new life to waste products, like banana peelings. Not only are they reducing waste, but they're also creating useful materials such as threads and paper. These examples show us that there's more to waste management than just throwing things away. It's about finding innovative ways to transform what we no longer need into something we can use again. And it's happening right now all over the world. So what about your region? What waste management projects are underway where you live? There's a chance you might discover some pretty amazing initiatives happening right in your backyard. Remember, managing waste isn't just about getting rid of what we don't want. It's about rethinking what waste is and finding ways to reuse, recycle, and reduce. It's about turning problems into solutions, challenges into opportunities. And it's not just up to governments or big companies. We all have a role to play in managing waste effectively, because at the end of the day, effective waste management is a global effort. Different types of waste take different periods to degrade. For instance, banana peelings take around 3 to 4 weeks to break down completely. Cloth bags, on the other hand, need a full month to decompose. Rags and woolen socks take a bit longer, degrading after 5 months and 1 year respectively. When we look at materials like wood and leather, the time frame extends to 10 to 15 years and 40 to 50 years. Now imagine tin cans, which take 50 to 100 years, or even aluminium cans that take 200 to 250 years to degrade. Certain plastic bags even take up to 1 million years to break down, while items like styrofoam cups take an infinite duration for degradation. That's why it's vital to segregate our waste. Different dustbins for different types of garbage can make a huge difference. Segregating our waste can greatly improve waste management. Waste management is not a new concept. In fact, it's been a focus since ancient times. Picture the bustling city of Athens in 320 BCE. Even then, they recognized the importance of cleanliness and enacted a law against throwing garbage in the open. Yes, the Athenians were penalized for improper disposal of waste. Waste management has been important throughout history, and it's even more crucial today.
Have you ever wondered what to do in case of a disaster? Disaster management is an essential topic that covers the strategies and tactics used to protect and save lives during both natural and man-made disasters. These disasters, which range from thunderbolts and floods to accidents and bomb explosions, can occur at any time, causing extensive damage to life and property. Disaster management is not just about responding to a disaster, but it's a comprehensive approach that involves prevention, preparedness, relief, and recovery. By understanding the various types of disasters and their potential impact, we can develop effective strategies to prevent losses, improve our tolerance to these events, and provide immediate and effective relief when they occur. The process of disaster management involves proper planning, organized activity, and coordination, which includes preparation, immediate action, damage assessment, rescue work, and rehabilitation. Understanding disaster management is crucial to minimizing damage and ensuring safety during such events. Disaster management is a complex process that requires appropriate planning and coordination. Let's delve into the intricacies of this process. At the heart of disaster management is the prevention of loss and danger. This involves identifying potential hazards and implementing measures to mitigate their impact. This could involve anything from strengthening infrastructure to withstand earthquakes to regulating hazardous materials in industries. Next, we focus on improving tolerance. This isn't about enduring the unendurable, but rather building resilience in individuals and communities. This could mean educating people about potential hazards or creating community response teams that can act quickly when disaster strikes. Providing relief from disaster is another crucial aspect. This involves minimizing the intensity and extent of harm through rapid response and aid provision. Think of it as a band-aid on a fresh wound. It doesn't heal the damage, but it prevents it from getting worse. Preparation to face the disaster is vital. This includes training individuals, establishing emergency protocols, and ensuring resources and equipment are readily available. Immediate action in the disaster situation is a critical step. This involves activating emergency plans, deploying resources, and coordinating efforts to manage the situation effectively. Assessment of damages and intensity of the disaster comes next. Experts evaluate the extent of the damage to understand the immediate needs and long-term recovery requirements. Arranging for rescue work and help is an ongoing process throughout disaster management. This involves everything from rescuing trapped individuals to providing medical aid and temporary shelter for those affected. The final step is rehabilitation and rebuilding. This involves restoring services, rebuilding homes and infrastructure, and supporting individuals and communities in their recovery. Effective disaster management helps minimize the intensity and extent of harm caused by a disaster. It's a process that requires careful planning, swift action, and long-term commitment. But most importantly, it requires a unified effort from all of us. Together, we can weather any storm. Knowing what to do in the immediate aftermath of a disaster can save lives. When disaster strikes, the immediate response can often be the difference between life and death. This is where first aid practices come into play. These are the emergency measures taken to preserve life, promote recovery, and prevent further harm to disaster victims. First aid serves three main objectives. The first is to prevent death. In a disaster situation, injuries can be severe, and without immediate care, they can prove fatal. Second is to prevent the deterioration of health. By providing immediate care, we can prevent injuries from worsening. The third objective is to start the process of rehabilitation. This means helping victims to recover from their injuries and regain their health. These objectives underline the importance of first aid in a disaster situation. It's not just about treating injuries, it's about preserving life, promoting recovery, and setting the stage for rehabilitation. Knowing first aid practices is a crucial part of disaster management. In a disaster situation, the first priority is to ensure that the victim can breathe and has a functioning circulatory system. This is where the basic principles of first aid come into play, specifically the ABC: airway, breathing, and circulation. Let's start with A, airway. If the victim is having difficulty breathing, their head should be positioned in a backward sloping position, or their chin should be raised. This helps to keep the respiratory passage open, facilitating easier breathing. Moving on to B, breathing. If the victim's breathing has stopped, artificial ventilation becomes necessary. This could be achieved through mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. By blowing air into the victim's mouth, you help to restore their breathing and supply much-needed oxygen to their body. Finally, C stands for circulation. If the victim is unconscious, after providing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation twice, the heart should be pressed down hard by pressing the chest with both palms. This should be alternated about 15 times with the resuscitation. This process is known as cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, and it can help bring the circulation back to normal. These steps are crucial in a disaster situation where professional medical help may not be immediately available. They can potentially save a life, or at the very least, prevent a situation from worsening until professional help arrives. Remember, ABC, airway, breathing, circulation, is the first step in first aid. In addition to ensuring life and resuscitation, it is important to know how to handle injuries and burns. Let's start with bleeding wounds. If someone is injured and bleeding, cover the wound with an antiseptic pad and apply pressure for about 5 minutes. Use your thumb or the palm of your hand. Next, let's talk about fractures. If a bone is fractured, immobilizing the injured part is critical. You can use any available wooden rods, batons, or even rulers to help keep the fractured part still. Impacts on the back or vertebral column are serious. In such cases, the victim should be kept immobile on a firm stretcher. Moving on to burns. If someone has burn injuries, it can be beneficial to hold the injured part under clean, cold, flowing water for at least 10 minutes. Finally, for injuries like sprains, twisting, and contusions, remember the RICE remedy. R stands for rest. Allow the victim to sit in a relaxed position. I is for ice. Apply an ice pack to the injured part. C is for compression. After the ice pack treatment, gently massage the injured part. And E stands for elevate. Keep the injured part in a raised or elevated position. With these basic first aid practices, you can make a difference in a disaster situation.
Have you ever wondered how victims are transported during emergencies? It's not something we think about every day, but in times of crisis, knowing how to properly move a victim can make all the difference. Welcome to our comprehensive guide to victim transportation, a crucial aspect of emergency response. Throughout this video, we'll explore various methods designed for different situations, from simple techniques like the cradle method, ideal for children and underweight victims, to more complex approaches employed by the fire brigade. We'll also touch on alternative emergency measures used in unique circumstances, such as rescuing people trapped in flooded areas. Each method has its specific use, and understanding how and when to use them is essential in ensuring the victim's safety and well-being. So buckle up and get ready to learn. So let's delve into these methods and understand the step-by-step process of each. First, we'll explore some basic methods of victim transportation that can be utilized by anyone, even without specialized training. Let's start with the cradle method. This technique is handy for moving children and underweight victims. It involves holding the person gently but firmly in your arms, much like you'd cradle a baby. It's a comfortable position for the victim and allows the rescuer to move swiftly and carefully. Next up is the human crutch method. If the victim has an injured leg, they can be supported using this method, with minimum load on the unaffected leg. To do this, the rescuer acts as a crutch, allowing the victim to lean on them for support while moving. Finally, we have the carrying on four-hand chair method. Picture four hands coming together to form a seat. That's the essence of this technique. It's especially useful when the victim needs support for the part below the waist. Two rescuers work in unison, their arms forming a makeshift chair to carry the person securely and comfortably. These methods may seem simple, but in emergency situations, simplicity is key. They are straightforward to execute and don't require any special equipment, making them accessible to anyone, anywhere. Remember, these methods can be life-saving when professional help is not immediately available, so take a moment to familiarize yourself with them. You never know when you might need to step in and help someone in need. Now let's move on to some methods utilized by professionals, such as the fire brigade. The fire brigade deploys a variety of techniques for transporting victims, depending on the nature of the emergency and the physical state of the individual. First up is the carrying piggyback method. This technique is particularly effective for transporting unconscious patients. The rescuer securely fastens the victim to their back, ensuring a firm grip, which allows for swift movement without causing additional harm to the victim. This approach is highly effective when the rescuer needs to navigate through narrow or crowded spaces. Next, we have the pulling or lifting method. This technique is employed when the victim needs to be moved over a short distance. The rescuer uses their strength to lift or pull the unconscious patient, ensuring minimal discomfort. It's a quick and efficient method when time is of the essence. The carrying on two-hand chair method is another technique used by fire brigade professionals. This method is suitable for patients who, while unable to use their hands, can maintain an upright body posture. The rescuers form a chair with their arms, allowing the victim to sit and be carried safely. This method requires coordination and strength, but can be a lifesaver in the right circumstances. Lastly, we have the time-tested stretcher method. In cases where a conventional stretcher isn't readily available, an emergency makeshift stretcher can be created using materials like bamboo or blankets. The victim is then carefully placed and secured on the stretcher, which is carried by two or more rescuers. This technique is instrumental for situations requiring careful handling of the victim and when the terrain is challenging. Each of these methods has its unique advantages and are utilized based on the situation at hand. The primary goal remains the same: to transport victims safely and as quickly as possible to a place where they can receive further medical attention. These more advanced methods allow for safer and more efficient transportation of victims. Lastly, we'll discuss some other emergency measures that can be used in extreme situations. In scenarios where large bodies of water pose a threat, for instance during floods, boats become invaluable assets. The civil administration often deploys boats to rescue people trapped in such areas. But what if a boat isn't readily available? Here's where a bit of resourcefulness can come into play. Makeshift flotation devices can be crafted from materials like wooden boards or bamboo floats. Even an air-filled rubber tube from a tire can be used to advantage in these situations. Of course, it's important to ensure these makeshift devices are secure and won't fail under the weight of a person. Switching gears slightly, let's talk about fire. A fire extinguisher is a critical tool in an emergency involving fire. It's a portable appliance that can be easily carried anywhere. There are various types of fire extinguishers used to put out different kinds of fires. Knowing how to operate one could save a life or prevent a small fire from escalating into a catastrophic event. In conclusion, these are just a few of the emergency measures that can be implemented in crisis situations. It's crucial to remember that each situation is unique and may require a different approach. Remember, understanding these methods can make the difference between life and death during emergencies, so stay informed and always be prepared. Always be